We're going to get started in about 1 minute. It's 6:30. I'm going to call this meeting of the Champaign County Board Committee of the Whole to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Farney,
Here.
Fava, Furtado, Greer,
Here.
Hanauer Friedman,
Here.
Lokshin,
Here.
Pugh,
Present.
Rodriguez,
Here.
Rogers, Sexton, Storr, Sollard,
Here.
Thorsland,
Here.
Vanich Theronot,
She is here. She stepped out.
Wiggs,
Here.
Wilson,
Here.
Cagle,
Here.
Carter,
Here.
Cowart,
Present.
Crane,
Here.
Esri, Locke.
Here. All right, moving on. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda. All right, we have Thorsland and Wiggs. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on. Approval of minutes from the April 15th, 2025 meeting. They were emailed and they are on the yellow addenda on your table. We got Farney and Lokshin. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. I have no slips for public input. If anyone in the public would like to address, please come forward. No public input. Any board member communications? Jeff, there he is.
Thank you, Chair. 2 items. So this week is the week where we honor the fallen police officers, remembering the fallen. This is Police Week. Today there in Champaign, there were 2 wonderful or beautiful ceremonies in the city of Champaign. And Chief Tyler gave a fantastic talk. And the takeaway for me was when we have this week of remembrance, not to just take it as kind of an event that happens, but to realize how impactful it is and how it affects us all. And then the county ceremony, I really appreciate it, and it was wonderful seeing you there. That was awesome. Just a quick statistics. As of December 31, 2024, a total of 147 law enforcement officers across the United States died in the line of duty, and that is a 25% increase from 2023. So think about that. In 1 year, there's a 25% increase in law enforcement deaths. And sad to say, for 2024, Illinois ranks the 4th of most fallen officers. And that's behind Texas, New York, and all federal agencies. Illinois last year lost 9 officers. In 2023, there were 3. So that's a 300% increase. So something's happened in society which I don't think is good. All right, to move off of that, I want to say something with positive news. I really enjoyed a meeting I had last night at the Edge Scott Fire Department. And Edge Scott Fire Department, it serves a small area, about 4,000 residents. And the individual I got to talk to, his name is Mark McDuffie. And Mark McDuffie, he is retiring after 49 years. Now think about this. 49 years of volunteer service, no pay, no compensation, but just a love for people in his community and serving on the fire department. He eventually started it from the beginning as a young kid, eventually became the chief of the fire department, and then also president of the board at Edge Scott. So anyway, just a heartfelt gratitude to people that no matter what they do in their line of work, but just there's so many wonderful volunteers. And I would like to have highlighted Mr. Mark McDuffie and thank him for his service of 49 years. It's back to you.
I will say a good thing that I also heard this morning is that Illinois has 0 police fatalities so far this year. So maybe something's going right in society. And also, I come from volunteer firefighters. It is an expensive hobby, and they are heroes. With all the fundraising you have to do, it's its own job. Any other board member communications? Ms. Carter.
I'm a climb task force member, and I just want to give a huge shout out to State Representative Carol Emmons, Senator Christopher Belt, and Senator Paul Faraci on passing House Bill 3356, which completely removes licensing requirements for hair braiders in the state of Illinois. It passed unanimously, 107-0. Also, I've been to 2 Lieutenant Governor Julia Stratton's events, and both times I was given a name tag. I still have yet to receive my name tag from Champaign County. I don't know if that is a request that I need to put in, or if that was something that was given to the regular or the rest of the board members without asking, but I would like a name tag stating that I am a part of Champaign County Board. Also, I have communications concerning the broadband task force. On May 1st, I received the email from Bailey Conradi. She says, Samantha, I hope things are well. The broadband task force should probably meet in June or July to get an update from Volo on how the project is going. I, however, am going to be going on maternity leave shortly and won't be working through the summer. Would you, as vice chair, be willing to work with Kaylin on setting up such meetings during the time frame? I would greatly appreciate it. Best, Bailey. My response, hi, congratulations on the arrival of your baby. Praying for you to have a healthy baby, safe and quick delivery. I was disappointed when I wasn't invited to the Housing Authority of Champaign County press conference event. I was asked by several employees why I wasn't present. I can recall during both county board and broadband task force meetings mentioning housing authority units should be first to get Wi-Fi installation. Unfortunately, I'm not interested in being in spaces where people choose whether or not to communicate with you based off a difference of opinions. I attached Executive Steve Summers' response to my concerns. Please refer to Executive Steve Summers and Chair Locke about appointing someone else in my absence. Executive Steve Summers' response. And this is dated September 20th, 2024. So I know he likes to say that I'm an uncooperative board member, but this is the reason why I have not been back to a broadband task force meeting. His response on my inquiry was, you commented at last night's meeting that you were not given the same respect as my office for not being included in the press conference held at Champaign County Housing Authority last Monday. My office did not schedule this event. This invitation was for me to attend was extended by Champaign County Housing Authority. Both mayors attended representing the cities of Champaign and Urbana. I was there representing the county, as in the case for many of the events that I attend. When the voters approved the change to the executive form of government, the executive became the lead office representing Champaign County. This is not a matter of respect. It's simply related to the relative level of responsibilities of our respective offices. Now, my problem is I sacrifice coming to these meetings. I sacrifice spending time with my elderly sick mother. I also have a son, a young son, that I have sacrificed for 2 years to be a part of this task force. And then we get to the end, and then the executive tells me, oh, you're not wanted because I'm the face of Champaign County. It's not right. Anyone partaking in anything pertaining to Champaign County should be invited to all events, not as a matter of if I like you, if I'll share that invite with you. But I just wanted to share that information with Champaign County because I know amongst board members it would be spread amongst others in a different way, but that's the reality, and I'll surely send you a copy as well.
Any other board member communications? All right, seeing none, we will move on. Justice and Social Services Chair Rogers is ill, and Vice Chair Sexton is not here as his son is being sworn in to the Rantoul Police Department, so you get Chair Locke doing it. Monthly reports for the probation, court services, public defender, EMA, and animal control are available on the website. The Rosecrans reentry report for February 25 is in there, and as we discussed last month, there will likely be some changes coming to our reentry. And now we have a presentation from Street College. Shannon Walker and everyone else that needs to come on forward. Your presentation is preloaded on the computer. Come on up. Oh, sorry, McFarland. I'm so sorry. Oh, I apologize. You told me. My goodness.
Before I get started, I wanted to share a transcript of what I'll be playing for you guys. So if you guys could take one of these and pass it down, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jay Walker, and I represent Street College, a not-for-profit based in Urbana that uses hip-hop, technology, and hands-on learning to reach young people, particularly those impacted by violence. Since February, we've provided weekly programming inside the Champaign County Juvenile Detention Center. Our work is designed to offer students meaningful, relevant education while they're detained and to support their growth after release. We currently offer 3 signature courses. Number 1, Street Musicology 101, which is a hands-on music production course that teaches creative literacy and technical skills. Our second course is Street College Media, which is a podcasting and audio storytelling class that builds voice, confidence, and communication. Most recently, we have started implementing Street College Civics, which is one of our newer courses, which is a dialogue-driven course that helps students explore identity, decision-making, and community. Each week, our team of 5 or 6 instructors engages students twice a week for 2 to 3 hours per session. These are high-contact, high-impact moments when students are seated, focused, and ready to receive something new. This programming was the vision of our late founder, Dr. William Patterson, affectionately known to me as Doc, an Urbana native who turned his life around after incarceration and went on to earn his doctorate and launch what became a national hip-hop education movement. Doc was formally recognized by the Illinois State Legislature for his work in education and public service. I'm proud to say I was once a student in this program, and today I teach it. So that's the full circle impact that Street College was designed to create. The most critical piece of our work today happens after release for these students. So through our partnership with Shannon and the probation office, we have built a reconnection model, ensuring that the students can re-enter our programming immediately upon returning to the community. This is how we address recidivism, by continuing to show up after the courtroom, after the release date, when it counts the most. These young people are coming back not just to the system, but to us, and that's impact. We've had state inspectors observe our sessions, and they've told us that Champaign County is the only juvenile facility in the state offering this kind of programming. But now we are in a critical position. It takes $8,600 a month to sustain our programming at JDC, and right now we have 3 months of funding remaining. We are not here asking for a blank check, but we're asking for the board's partnership and resourcefulness in helping us secure the funding necessary to keep this imperative and vital work going. To close, I want to let you guys hear directly from the students at JDC. So they've prepared an audio presentation recorded inside the Juvenile Detention Center where students speak in their own voices about what this opportunity has meant for them. Oh, we don't have any sound? Yeah, that's what, so yeah, this will be exactly for that. Let's see. Yep, no sound. Yeah, well, that's sad. I actually do not have my phone on me, but you can play it? Thank you so much. But yes, this transcript covers everything that's being discussed in the audio. It's just a presentation that they facilitated themselves specifically for this meeting. So yeah, if we had the opportunity to play it, that'd be awesome.
While Megan is working on that, I just wanted to share a few things that I've heard from our staff at the detention center and from parents who have talked about what this program has meant to their juveniles. Our staff talk about how it helps our kids build confidence. It helps them to work better as a team. They don't always get along, but for whatever reason, when they're in this group, they tend to get along better than they usually do. They will collaborate with each other more, where sometimes they'll do a lot of roasting. But in this group, they seem to be more supportive of each other. It helps engage the kids who are hard to engage. Those kids will engage in this group. And they're proud of what they're doing. They will ask our staff, they'll say, hey, come back and listen to what we did today. They will get staff to come listen to what they're doing because they're proud of what they're doing. And Jay already stole my other comment about when we had an inspection in February, the AOIC inspectors did say that they inspect all the detention centers throughout the state, and they said that there's no other detention center doing anything like this. And then the email that I got today was from a parent of a juvenile who's on probation. He was in the detention center. He's a Muhammad kid who got put on probation, and we're really trying to make that connection between once they get put on probation and then they keep going with the street college program once they get out. And this mother emailed today, and she said, yes, he started street college yesterday. It went really well. He almost seemed to light up after he was done with his session. I was so happy to see him that way. The staff said that he did really well. They also recommended he attend a summer program. Jay will be reaching out to her about the program. So it's obviously making an impact on kids after they're released, which is kind of what we envisioned when we first started doing this. So did that kill enough time, Megan? Okay.
Well, it says it's playing.
Street college. Street college. Street college was that. That's where you need to be. Yeah. They teach you about rapping, DJing, podcasting, editing.
Street college, it's very beneficial. When you get out of JDC, they continue the program with you. They'll pay you for your courses outside of here. That's something that I'm looking forward to when I get out of here.
How you feel about us here?
I enjoy coming to see y'all every week. It's a cool experience being able to teach y'all some of these new skills. But I look forward to seeing y'all on the outside, though.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish I didn't meet you here. I wish I met you outside. But I do enjoy coming here every week and teaching y'all different skills and stuff that you can use out on the street. And I look forward to working with y'all outside too.
Well, I'm sad that you're here because you're all smart, you're funny, you're warm, you're collaborative, you're learning. But I hope that we can continue this work outside.
Lost my cousin to this game, so no, I gotta come with him. Once I make it out the streets, I swear to God, I won't look back. It's only one thing on my mind, and that's just getting to the sack. Hope I make it out with rap, or will I make it out with trap? But I can't trust none of these, cause that love would be so whack. One day our friends who show some money, then they ready to attack. That's why I had to go far back, so now I'm staying out the way. On my grind to go get paid. Hell, I might be on my way. Look to the sky already nice, and that God cannot be saved.
And that's pretty much the entire presentation. We hope their words move you as much as they've moved us, and inspire you to help ensure that this work doesn't stop here. So thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have questions? Ellie.
Oop. Hi, thank you. You mentioned that your funding's ending in 3 months. Is that funding just specifically for your work with JDC or as an organization?
As an organization.
And overall. And where does your funding currently come from?
From the IDHS grant.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Carter.
I was neighbors with Dr. Patterson. I've known this family for a long time, and to see where it started and where it's at now, it's just amazing. I've also invited board members to come to some of those outings. Not too many showed up, but I know the work that you guys are doing is very beneficial to this community. And I want to thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Not everybody, young person is going to attend college after their high school years. There's different avenues that they may want to travel. And it's awesome that you've given them this experience while they're in the Youth Detention Center. And hopefully they will turn themselves around and be productive citizens in this society because of you guys and the hard work that you're contributing to this program. You said your funding is coming from where?
From IDHS.
Have you applied for any other grant funding?
I believe so. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you for all these questions. I am Lori Gold Patterson, so I'm Dr. Patterson's lifetime partner. We were actually dating when he was in the juvenile detention center. I was not so proud of that, but and then he went on to prison, but he became in his mind Dr. Will Patterson while he was sitting in Joliet Correction Center. That's really where he came up with the way in which he believes that when you can enable youth to understand that they are a genius and what he called ghetto genius.
Yes.
Then they will dream and they will find who they are and be productive citizens. So we're primarily currently funded through the Illinois Department of Human Services. We've had grants through the city of Champaign, the city of Urbana. Both of those are because they were through federal funding. All of those ceased. So we're in a critical position, and we're working lots of avenues. We're unwilling to see this work not continue, but we do, as Jay said, it's imperative that we get the message out to all of us that have resources and the ability to determine how to ensure that there's sustainability and growth in this work.
Awesome. Funny story. I was 15 years old when I got caught after curfew on campus. Where did they send me? To Dr. Patterson. I had to complete community service work with Dr. Patterson. His mom and my mom, lifelong friends, we all worshiped at the same church. And he made me realize the decisions that I was making at that time was wrong. Mm-hmm. He also instilled in me that no matter the choices that you make, you can still turn yourself around. And that's why this community will always praise and look up to Dr. Patterson, because he went down one road and he turned himself around. And the community is so proud of him and proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's interesting, just a note, I was looking at the pictures on the wall, and Dr. P's mom served on this board. She's in 3 of the photos, I think from maybe 88 to 92. So it is really full circle.
Any other questions? Jeff, I saw you first, then JJ.
Jay, it's wonderful seeing you again. A different setting. Thank you for everything you're doing. I know your mom and dad are back there. They seem pretty proud. And seems like you do a lot of volunteer work, and I know you best with the veterans, helping the veterans at the Veterans Stop the Violence Trauma Care. So it's nice to see you've got so many things on your plate and you're volunteering to help the community. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
JJ.
I just wanted to comment that this is a wonderful program. I see it every day with my students there at JDC. The boys can be having a rough day, getting a little chippy with each other. But when they go over to Street College, in your presentation, you said they collaborate. Absolutely, they do. It goes away when they're able to do this. I'm sitting in my office, and the beat sometimes just keeps going and going and going, and then I fall asleep thinking of it as well, you know. But really, they look forward to this. They look forward to your visits being there. And the kids were actually telling me today, because they knew it was county board night, they said, you're going to get to hear our rap. Because I hadn't heard the finished product yet. And so they're like, you're going to get to hear that tonight. And they were super excited about it. And they were super excited that all of you were going to get to hear that. So I thank you for your work. And I hope we're able to keep working with you, because it's definitely a benefit to the youth that are at JDC.
Thank you so much.
Eric? Daniel?
Thank you guys for being here and for your presentation. We're talking about grant funding, and I just had thought of one that might be applicable, the Urbana Community Service Grant Program. Although it might not, the deadline might have passed for this year. I know that is involved in youth services and violence prevention, so I think that they funded that as a city with $600,000. And so I don't know if this year the deadline's passed, but in the future that might be one to look for too.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Eric?
Sure.
Sorry. So we have been funded by them for 3 years. This year was interesting because they suddenly required that we have a independent audit, and we're a small organization, and independent audits are about $8,000. So we were unable to get funded through them this year, but we have found an individual to do our audit, and it'll be done June 30th. So next year, we love working with, we do, you see people with Lovin' You on their shirts. We do the Lovin' You tour. You all have probably read about or seen the Hip Hop Express bus. And it goes around, and we go around with it doing the Loving You tour through that funding. Thank you.
I don't want to sell our grant coordinator services to other people, but we do have a grant coordinator, and they're very good. And I was wondering if maybe they could just have a conversation with our grant coordinator, who has got their finger kind of out there on a lot of things, and maybe they have some advice.
I believe that we have a department head right over here who might have her phone number on speed dial.
So, I mean, that might be an avenue to pursue.
I agree. I'm sure Kate would be willing to look into that.
Yeah, if,
Yeah, this is absolutely one of those things that we created that position for, right? To help find ways to fund things now that we can't just be Santa Claus with ARPA money all the time. I can make no promises, but we've talked about it in this room that what we were doing with our reentry program isn't exactly working, and we want to get more bang for our buck. And I mean, quite frankly, this is bang all over it. So there will be future conversations. We can make no promises tonight. But, the budget process is coming, and Shannon will talk. Are there any other questions from the board? Yes, Samantha.
Who is your contact person at the city of Champaign? Okay, thank you.
Okay, seeing nothing else, we're very wowed and impressed. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything we heard tonight. All right, moving on. We have item D, Sheriff Resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement between the County of Champaign on behalf of the Champaign County Sheriff's Office and the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services. We have this in different pieces throughout every portion of our agenda tonight. Can I get a motion for the Justice and Social Services piece? Mr. Sullard, second. Eric, and any discussion from the board? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on. There is no other business. There's no chair's report. Designation of items to be placed on the consent agenda is item 7D1. Moving on to Finance, Chair Hanauer Friedman.
Thank you. Okay. Starting with A, budget amendments and transfers. This is our information only monthly general corporate budget amendment report for May 2025. So again, this is an ongoing tally of the BUAs that we've approved so everyone can see how they're hitting the general fund. Any questions or on that? Yeah, JJ.
Just so anybody who might be watching this knows, right now we have added appropriations of $923,830 to the general fund budget. And that's through April of 2025.
Any other questions on this one? Comments? Yeah, Stephanie.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, what we did earlier for the Carl settlement, that's going to be added to this. We'll see that on the next report. Can I ask one quick question about that then? Travis, was that included in your financial projection? The Carl's, was that part of your financial forecast last week?
I didn't have the finalized number then, but I did have an estimate in there for it.
Anybody else? Okay. Moving on, number 2, budget amendment BUA 2025/5/61, Fund 1080, General Corporate Department Sheriff, increased appropriations $119,753.60, increased revenue $73,576. Reason, appropriation of funds for collaboration with DCFS. So this is continuation of the resolution that we just approved. Can I get a motion? Beth and Matt. Any discussion? JJ?
So you'll notice that the revenue number is less than the increased appropriation on this. This, over the course of the grant, will make the general fund whole. It's just a matter of timing issues between various budget years and things like that. But after double and triple checking the numbers, the intergovernmental agreement and everything, I am comfortable doing this because it will not hit the general fund.
And hopefully everybody saw the sheriff's memo on this, which was pretty comprehensive. So any other questions or discussion? JJ?
It's not noted on there, but we need a roll call. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thanks.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Item B, Auditor Fiscal Year 2024 Audit Update. We wanted to make sure there is an update for the board on the status of the audit. I'm just going to share a couple things. I've got some figures in front of me here, so sorry I'm reading. As you all know, the audit is ultimately the responsibility of this board, and I know I speak for many of you when I say that I'm very concerned about the status of the fiscal year 24 audit. As you know, we came really, really close last year to losing millions of dollars in funding for programs like Head Start and other essential services that the county provides. As you may remember, Orion from RPC ended up doing the majority of the work on the fiscal year 23 audit, and his last day with the county was last Friday. He worked overtime, and we paid for that time to complete the audit documents that were needed by CLA to conduct the audit. And so Travis and the Finance Committee, we've been monitoring the work on the fiscal year 24 audit, and unfortunately, we're already really far behind. Both the bank and fund reconciliations continue to be behind, and that's really most of the funds, I believe about 67 of them. And of the 59 work items that are currently due to CLA, 52 are past due. So those were things that were due in either February or April that have not been submitted. So being this far behind on reconciliations and the like for fiscal year 24 also means that we're already behind on work for the fiscal year 25 audit next year's. The new deputy auditor is still new, and without Orion, really worried that the audit will be even later than last year. And again, that those programs and funding will be at risk. So at this point, I would recommend that the board direct administration to take the lead on coordinating with CLA and to hire temporary staff if necessary to ensure that the fiscal year 24 audit and future audits are completed and that no further funding is jeopardized. And welcome any other, if anybody else has any, or Travis has anything to add on status or questions at this point. Yeah, Samantha.
I just, for the record, just want to state that it seems like this has all been self-inflicted. Mr. Dano's employees were lured out of their job, which was a trickle-down effect. Now it seems like you're playing with the space that was designated to him in his office. I guess that's the payback for being late on the audit. I think the staff need to just grow up. I mean, it's time to get serious about your position with this county. I would hope so soon. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah, Jen, Charlotte.
So I'd say that without pointing fingers at anybody, because that's not going to accomplish anything, right? Pointing fingers is not going to accomplish anything. Blame is not going to accomplish anything. We need to deal with the situation in front of us now. And what's in front of us, I have the floor, please. What's in front of us now is that reconciliations that should be done were not done. Reports that should be made monthly are not done. The information we need from 2024 is unavailable. So we need to do all hands on deck to get the things that should have been done in 2024 done and into the hands of our outside auditor who is preparing the ACFR. And they had a deadline of April 24th, and almost nothing was turned in on time. And to keep the staff at the auditor's office doing the things that need to keep the county running day to day right now, they don't have time to do everything that should have happened last year. So it will financially hurt this year to pay for someone to do this stuff. Realistically, it will be 2 temporary but full-time, like task-based full-time employees. But the alternative to not doing it is infinitely worse. That's my take on it.
Yeah. And just to add really quick, we were on CLA's schedule for May, but since we haven't met any of their deadlines, they have to move all their other clients around in order to get us on the schedule later. Yeah, Jenny.
So in addition to whatever staff we're looking at, do we know what that hit would cost, the CLA, since we're not meeting their deadline?
So, like last year, we ended up having to pay CLA extra because we were late, and that meant extra work from them. So, I think it's safe to assume that there are going to be late charges this year as well. It's hard to estimate in advance.
We don't have an estimate at this time, but last year the low-level employees are not assigned out after the official September 30th deadline. If we do this now, we can still make it before September 30th. We're not looking at, oh no, if we do this, it'll still be November. We're looking at, this is what we can do to make September 30th.
Stephanie.
It's also super important that we do this now because we are, so we don't have Orion and he has a lot of the institutional memory, but we also, the person from CLA that was our lead is no longer our lead anymore, at least unless that's changed. Hope is no longer our lead. So what the two people that sort of worked on either side of the equation, they're not here anymore. So there's going to be a learning curve regardless. And so I think that the board needs to, whatever resources we need to put in place to get this done. I also think that sort of financial reporting and fiscal transparency is quite frankly probably the most important duty of this board.
Mr. Wilson.
Me, thank you. I have two items, and I'll ask one question. I think Jay has one, and I would like to follow up after Jay. So for a clarification on, help me understand and help the people that are watching understand, 52 out of how many items are past due?
59.
I guess that's more than 10%, maybe 90%. So 52, and was there enough time given to accomplish the task? Enough warning, say, hey, I need this by day X, and
I assume these are pretty similar tasks that happen every year and therefore have been, known they've been coming for a year.
So next question, of the 59 tasks that were assigned and 52 that are late, did the organization that's responsible to accomplish those items acknowledge receipt of those tasks?
It's an online portal, and each task is assigned to a specific staff person, and that person has access to the portal and can see and upload documents, things like that.
So yes. In summary, the task assignment created with a deadline had someone target to complete the task. It was accepted. Was there any feedback saying, hey, I need more time for task 1 through 10, and I can get the other 40 finished? Or was there any follow-up with respect to task execution?
I don't have the answer to that question.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'll turn it back to you, and then one more time, please.
JJ?
I think kind of to comment on Jeff's last question there. These items are in that list and they're assigned, and it's the same from year to year. As far as needing additional time to do it, past practice is the way, I mean, you don't really ask for additional time on them. They've got to get done. And so whether they're done in May, which keeps us on track, or if they're done in July, they've still got to be done. Mm-hmm. There is a committee that meets on a regular basis with CLA, with Travis, with the auditor's office, that is keeping up to date on these tasks. So I'd say as far as making sure people are aware of what their duties are and what needs to be done, yes, everyone's very aware of what needs to be done. I think we're fortunate that Travis is able to step forward and lead this. And this is what I think really we need to get to, is saying, Travis, you need to be the point person on this. We need to have a point person that reports to this board, so that we can have a direct line of communication and know exactly where we stand on things without any spin on it, because he reports to this board, to no one else. And so I like the idea of us going that route. I think we need to, as a board, give direction tonight to say, Travis, you're taking charge of this. I think we need to do that. As a board, I think we need to let Travis know that. And I think that we need to make sure that when we're talking about the audit, that we need to also be sure that we are talking about accurate things. And when you're in these meetings, when you're on these conference calls, you find out things that you may not get from talking to elected officials, department heads, things like that. But when you're actually talking with CLA, you get it straight from them. We are missing this, this, and this. Congratulations to Hope Wheeler. She moved up the ladder at CLA. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations to Orion. He is starting a new firm here in this state. That's a significant move for his professional career. I'm glad that the county was part of his career to help to get him to that point in his professional career, because it's a really great opportunity for him to do this. We're going to miss him. He has been the glue that has held this together. We're fortunate that we have a good relationship with him, and when we can collaborate with him, but his time is going to be spent on this new business venture, and that's the way it should be. Everybody hopes you have a chance to do that. But I would like to see the board tonight give Travis directive to, all right, we can tell Chair Locke or Ellie, whoever needs to direct CLA, that you go through Travis now on everything on the audit.
Can we get a thumbs up in direction to administration? It's not a vote.
I have a
just to, like-
question.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's
Go ahead.
worth noting that the auditor has not had a deputy auditor. I think there was some problems with the salary with the deputy auditor, while there was a hold on that. Is that not correct?
He has a deputy auditor right now who's been there
I
for
know
several
we have
months.
one right now, but there was a period that he did not have one, and this was.
He's had a deputy auditor since
Microphone.
Mr. Bill joined us, back in.
Several months ago.
It's been several, probably before it was right after the election. Mr. Bill joined us, and there's been no change to his salary or anything.
How long has these been overdue? How long?
Well, our fiscal year ended December 31st, and these tasks are assigned starting immediately. You start closing the year. So Mr. Bill has been supposedly working on that. We're not privy to that information. And the tasks that are due by
Point of order.
the tasks that are due to Clifton Larson Allen are through.
Chair, who is recognized at this time?
I was talking.
Go right ahead.
Wasn't this a collaboration between the treasurer and the auditor's office? Is that correct?
Samantha, it was what a collaboration? Can you clarify your question, please?
What are we talking about right now?
The audit.
Right. So I forgot what the notes that is. What did I just write that?
Are you talking about the 52 overdue items?
Right, the 52 overdue items. Wasn't that once a job of the treasurer and the auditor's office?
No, there's somebody in the treasurer's office right now working on the reconciliations, which are
The
which is a piece,
reconciliations,
but
correct.
this is specific items due to CLA, and the vast majority of those are assigned to the deputy auditor.
Okay, and
Yeah,
he's
in the
just
system.
coming on in December.
Yes, that is correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, if there aren't any other questions, I'd like to ask for a thumbs up.
I agree.
If we can just thumbs up or thumbs down, whether we want to give direction to administration on this. Okay, looks like that is a yes. Let's move on to number 2. Oh, sorry, is there?
Thank you. Are we still on the audit, right?
Yes.
I believe Mr. Wilson has a letter he'd like to read.
Oh, okay, related to the audit update.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, please go ahead.
Thanks. This is a letter to the editor of the News Gazette from the Regional Planning commissioners. And I haven't seen it published yet, but it does say for immediate release. And I'm going to read it, and I'd like to either submit it for the meeting minutes or however you want to do it. I'll send this to Megan, then you could attach it or whatever. All right, here we go. Subject, urgent concerns over late single audit and potential funding risks. Dear editor, as a member of the Champaign County Regional Planning Commission, it is within our fiduciary roles and responsibilities that we write to express our deep and ongoing concern regarding the continued delays in the completion of the county's single audits. This annual audit, which is the responsibility of the county auditor and is not only a federal requirement, it is a critical safeguard that ensures transparency and accountability for the public funds we administer at the Champaign County Regional Planning Commission, which includes millions of dollars in state and federal grants. Timely submission of the single audit is a condition for receiving and maintaining funding across a wide range of programs that support our region's most vulnerable residents. They include early childhood education, that's Head Start, workforce development, utility assistance, that's LIHEAP, housing assistance, and community services, to mention just a few, programs upon which thousands in our county rely upon. Any delays in the completion of the fiscal year 2024 single audit poses serious risk. If the fiscal year 2024 audit is not completed when it is due, barring any grace period, existing grants may be frozen and new application as well as modification to grants may be denied. The Regional Planning Commission would be unable to draw down funds, and you can't get them, right? You can't get the money. For those that are listening, both state and federal pass-through grants to reimpose agency costs for payroll and accounts, or reimburse agency costs for payable and accounts payable, payroll and accounts payable. So both payroll and the accounts payable won't be funded. These are conditions which have been temporarily imposed on the Regional Planning Commission in previous years when Champaign County was delinquent in the completion of the single audit. These delays in the completion of the single audit directly threatened our ability to serve the public and could lead to devastating consequences for the individuals and families who depend on these vital services. Since the RPC commissioners are entrusted with the fiduciary oversight of the RPC, we certainly cannot afford to have critical services and projects interrupted at any given time, nor do we want to jeopardize any future grant funding because of any audit delinquencies which are beyond the control of the RPC. We urge the county auditor to act with the urgency this situation demands and to meet the timeliness established by the external auditor to complete the fiscal year 2024 single audit on or prior to September 30, 2025. Sincerely, Champaign County Regional Planning Commission and commissioners, and then there's the list of names. So thank you for allowing me to read that letter.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 2, corrections to the resolution authorizing interfund loans from reserves to other funds. Do we need a motion for this? Yes, can I get a motion? JJ, second by Eric. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. C, County Executive, resolution establishing the budget process for Champaign County for fiscal year 2026. Can I get a motion? Jen, Locke? Can I get a second? Loction? Any discussion? This is pretty, yeah, Jenny.
Just with the last item, there is the budget process going to be affected at all by additional duties placed on Travis due to needing to be the audit lead, or is this still good as laid out here?
I cannot speak for Travis, but I think we'll be okay.
Travis's primary duty is to work on the budget. He will also take time to do additional liaison with CLA and the audit.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Moving on to D, Circuit Clerk, extension of time for the completion of the Circuit Clerk's fiscal year 2024 outside audit. Can I get a motion? Beth, a second. Lorraine, any discussion? Yes, Sherlock.
I just note that Susan wanted to be here tonight. She also took ill, like so many people that would otherwise be here with us. But this is something that we do yearly. The state runs on a fiscal year that's different than ours, and then they want the court to hop in line at the same time. There's no way that with our fiscal year we'd ever have this done in time. So we pass this every year just to keep the circuit clerk in compliance.
Any other discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. I don't have any other business. I don't have a chair's report. Items to be placed on the consent agenda are A2, B2, C1, and D1. Back to the chair.
Moving on, Policy, Personnel, and Appointment Chair Storr cannot be here tonight, so Vice Chair Wilson, you are up.
Thank you. Well, he is in Cincinnati. Can he call in? All right, so anyway.
Not by board rules.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so Policy, Personnel, and Appointments. Item A, County Executive Reports. Monthly am I on? Okay, thank you. Monthly HR report, April 2025, to be distributed. There's just a couple items of note, maybe for your consideration. On this vacant positions at close of business on April 30th, total position vacancies are 45. New vacancies this month alone is 8. Altogether for 2025, there's 22 vacancies. I'm assuming this will probably change throughout the year, but 22 is exceeding the previous years. And there's 12 departments with unintended vacancies out of the 23, about $2.6 million budgeted for these vacancies, should they not be filled, about 87,000 hours of work, which is a lot of work. The largest department that's impacted is the Sheriff's Department. Any questions? All right, seeing none. Next item is A2, update to Chapter 8 through 19 of the Personnel Policy. This is an update. And Michelle Jett, if you're free, can you explain the update? Thank you.
This is a topic that we have negotiated with AFSCME in this current bargaining round. We have a verbal tentative agreement on it, mirroring what you have in front of you to apply to non-bargaining. So it was at the request of the Labor Committee that we move this forward. This is not any indication on what's happening overall with the AFSCME bargaining, but this specific issue is what we're talking about.
I also just wanted to add, the reason why we can do this is because it's within our court, I guess, to make these type of personnel decisions. Anything that involves the bargaining unit, we have to do through bargaining. So that's why we are able to do this tonight and the rest, a similar policy through the bargaining process.
Samantha?
I would just like to sympathize with county employees and their fair wage increases. I think it's sad that our executive has given his employees very nice increases with their salary, and the rest of the county employees are left to suffer. So I stand with our county employees. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Carter. Any other items to discuss? All right, Member Matt.
I noticed in the paragraph it says for the birthing parents, the leave must be taken as 12 continuous weeks, but the non-birthing parent may choose to break that up into pieces. So I'm wondering why that the non-birthing parent gets the more flexibility than the birthing parent, or could we just make them both flexible?
This is what AFSCME has asked for. This is the language that they gave to us. So ideally, we would prefer that the policy for AFSCME and for non-bargaining be the same. So I don't have an answer to your question. I can just throw in that it's very frustrating when we have similar policies that have slight divergences.
Yeah, go ahead. Again, your follow-up. Go ahead, Matt.
Could we make them both the flexible options for both bargaining and non-bargaining?
So the thing that I would add, and cut me off, Michelle, if I'm wrong, we are trying to mirror the FMLA policy. So we want something that mirrors state law, so we're not redoing anything. And so that's what I believe they're pulling from.
I think that's where they got the most of their language from. And then for the actual answer to your question, I think we would have to say we can't discuss a bargaining issue in an open meeting. So,
Mr. Parney.
I'd also point out this has been vetted by the state's attorney.
Thank you. Any comments? Discussion? So this is update only, right? No vote? That's it.
no, we need to vote on this if you want to change the policy. And then I also just wanted to add, so, we have the 3 units. So this covers non-bargaining. We're in discussions with AFSCME. There's currently no conversation happening with FOP at this time, but I would be stunned if we don't have a request to make an amendment relatively soon. So just a heads up on that one.
Okay, so this is defined in the agenda as an update. Do we need a motion to approve this or not? We do, right? So may I have a motion to approve this? It's listed in the agenda as an update, right? Not as a voting
It's that we're updating the policy. It's not updating us on the policy.
Okay, got
We're
it.
updating
Thank
it.
you.
And I
Thank you.
move.
All right, thank you. Is there a second? All right, Ellie. All right, so all those in favor say aye. All those in favor say nay. All right, so the motion carries for the update. Thank you. All right, next item is appointments and reappointments. Italics indicate incumbents. There's a few of them, and they're all the same, so I'll just read each one. So 3A, this is a resolution appointing Lillian Williams to the Eastern Prairie Fire Protection District, unexpired term ending 4/30/2026. Is there any discussion? All right, a move to approve. Is there a second? Thank you. I have my glasses on, sorry. Thank you, Beth. All right, so all in favor say aye. All right, all not in favor say nay. All right, the motion carries. Thank you very much. Next one, B, resolution appointing Levy Kopman to the Kerr and Compromise Draining District, unexpired term ending 8/31/2028. A motion to approve. Thank you, Beth. A second. Brett. Perfect. Thank you. All right, all in favor say aye. All in favor say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next one, C, resolution appointing or actually it's reappointment of John Burgee to the Board of Review, term 6/1/2025 through May 31, 2027. May I have a motion to approve this reappointment? Carter, and second, Mr. Crane. All those in favor say aye. All those not in favor say nay. All right, motion carries. Next one, D, resolution appointing Laura, forgive me if I say this wrong, Blyle, thank you, a Democrat, to the Champaign Urbana Mass Transit District, unexpired term ending 12/31/2029. Wow, that's out there. Okay, we have a motion. My eyes, Matt and Jenny, thank you, Lock. Perfect, okay. All right, so all in favor say aye, and all disapproving say nay. All right, looks like the ayes have it. And last appointment is resolution appointing Christopher Storr, Democrat, to the Urbana Champaign Sanitary District. This is from June 1, 2025 to end of May 2028. Any discussion? Oh, motion for this. All right, Jen, and second, Mr. Thorsland, any discussion? Yes, ma'am?
I don't like this. And also, it's his dream and his passion to leave us behind and go to the sanitary district. Dr. Storr will be with us for one more meeting if we pass this forward. And then he'll be going to somewhere where he's much more passionate. We should all vote yes.
Yes, ma'am?
My understanding is he'll be replacing Jennifer Putman on this board. So I just want to take a minute and thank Jennifer for her service. We meet, our caucus meets in a room named after her. Much of what I've learned about being on this board, I often ask myself, what would Jenny do? Because she served with a lot of grace and kindness, but firm conviction and principles. Also, this is Chris's dream. It's like he was put on earth to be on this board. But the work that Chris has done on this board has been very, very important. Chris was part of the conversation that got us to a solution on one of the biggest sort of log jams in the board history on the jail. It was Chris's idea that we form a special committee in order to get a plan for consolidating the jail through. Chris, has been a very practical board member. He said he wanted a helicopter to go up into the sky to map the Mojave Aquifer. I said to him, I do not know what you're talking about. Next thing I know, I had 15, right, on the sleep program. We needed some maps to show where we're going to be doing with our ARPA money sleep program. I called Chris. I said, hey, I know you know about GIS. 2 days later, I had these maps, right? So I think Chris is going to be a humongous asset to our sanitary district. And the fact that he's still going to be protecting our water means a lot, I think, to all of us on this board. But it's a passing of a torch between two people that I have a great deal of respect for, and I will obviously be voting yes on this. But I just wanted to take a minute to thank both of them for their service in their respective boards and to acknowledge that wherever Chris is, I'm sure he's smiling.
Cincinnati.
One more thing. He will continue to chair the Carbon Sequestration Task Force as a layperson. He'll remain the chair as a learned professional.
Any other discussion on Mr. Chris? Go ahead. John?
I'm assuming that this will pass unanimously. I'd ask it to stay off of consent so that he can abstain from voting for himself.
You have to watch your language on the board here. Not calling people bums.
Bite me.
All right, so you'll be on the consent as a pass-through or not? So someone has to vote no then? Okay, so any other discussion? My turn. Thank you. First of all, I may vote no because I miss him. Even though I've only been on the board for 3 centuries now, it feels like. But I really enjoy Chris. And he and I have bagels over at Einstein Bagels every now and then. And I really enjoy that. But before we vote, I want to read something here. This is his statement of qualifications. I have more than 40 years of professional work in waste management, sewage, solid, hazardous, radioactive. Oh, wow. And have served, maybe that's why he glows, the radiation there. Have served as listen to this, National Executive Director for a mental health organization, administrative, financial, operational matters, and was project manager for Sister Cities Project, China, which toured sewage treatment and solid waste facilities in Guangzhou, China, and Zamba, Malawi, consulted with professors at Ben Suf, Egypt, and have consulted with the UCSD staff and the UIC professors about sewage treatment for many years. He is licensed professional geologist, certified, and he's an engineering geologist. That's why he's doing so good on the task force. Anyway, we'll pass this on. How's this vote? We pass it, we still bring it, or?
We vote, and then we just withhold it from the consent agenda.
All
So we can
right.
unanimously vote still.
Thank you. So all in favor of Chris taking this new position at the sanitary district, vote aye. Aye. And all in disfavor say no. All right, it passes unanimously, but it will not make it on the consent. Current vacant appointments, as listed, not really in front of you, but you will find it on the website. Just go to the website. For those that are listening, if you're looking for an appointment or a job opportunity, just go ahead and go to the county executive's appointments, current vacant openings on the website. And for applications of appointments, just go there. Next, we've got a resolution from the sheriff. Resolution amending the number of authorized sheriff positions for the Champaign County Sheriff. Who wants to talk about this? All right, Chair, thank you.
So that grant that we voted on twice already tonight.
We need a motion first.
Motion for this motion? All right. All right, Mr. Sullard and yay. Brain fart, but
Ellie.
yes. Ellie, okay, thank you.
Okay, so this is what we've voted on already this evening in 2 other parts. We need to increase the number of deputies. We don't have enough deputies already sitting, so we need to add 1 more position so that we can then have that fully grant-funded person doing the DCFS deputy position, and then we'll still have the same number of street deputies.
Okay, and then Mr. Farney has a comment about the budget then on the grant on this or not?
No, the budget part was fine. It doesn't affect the general fund, and as it says in the resolution, that if this grant should go away, so does that 57th deputy position. So it goes back to where we were.
Thank you. So when we vote for this, it's in full acknowledgement that if the grant money goes away, the position goes away. All right, all in favor of this resolution, please say aye. Say no, say no. All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, last one, cool. Okay, so C, County Board. This is resolution appointing Ted Kratchmer to the Carbon Sequestration Activities Task Force. I looked up to find out who this individual is. So Ted Kratchmer is a senior environmental scientist at North Water. Previously, Ted was a manager of field station special projects at Lewis and Clark Community College. I was there not too long ago. And also held positions at National Great Rivers Research and Education Center, University of Wisconsin-Madison, University of Notre Dame. He received a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Notre Dame and a Master of Arts from Webster University. I talked to Chris prior to this meeting, and this is an add-on. It's not a replacement. It's an add-on, and he's been pursuing this individual to be added to the task force. So may I have a motion approve this resolution? All right, Beth, thank you. And second? Daniel Wiggs. Okay, so all in favor of approving this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and all that don't approve say nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. I have no other business. Yes.
In light of board member communications earlier tonight, I think this would be the proper committee for us to accept Ms. Carter's resignation from the broadband task force. We all heard her read an email saying that she wishes to be replaced on that. I think that this would be a proper place for me to officially acknowledge that resignation. And then at our meeting next week, we can officially appoint a replacement to that resigned seat. That's all. No board action is necessary
No
for me to
board action.
accept that. I'm just formally acknowledging it in public.
Thank you. I actually didn't catch that earlier. So, Member Carter, you're saying you're withdrawing from the broadband task force? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your service on the broadband task force. Very much appreciated. Thank you again very much. And then chair's report. Next week, at the board meeting, we'll be recognizing 4 individuals for their service at the board meeting upcoming. And again, thank you for all the employees that work so hard for our county to make our county work. Thank you very much. That's the end of the chair's report. Designation of items to be placed on the consent agenda. I have, if we do this right, is A3, A3A, A3B, A3C, A3D. And B1.
A2 also.
A what?
A2.
A2. Oh, excuse me, A2. That's right. I still got hung up on update. Okay, so A2, A3A, A3B, A3C, A3D, bypassing E, and then B number 1, and C number 1. That's, Madam, who I have on the consent agenda. I'm just turning it back over to you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Wilson. Moving on, other business, we've all passed through the closed session minutes. A reminder that after we receive a motion and a second, if we want to discuss them, we have to go into closed session. With that in mind, can I have a motion for acceptance of the closed session minutes from April 15th, 2025? Beth, Eric is second. No discussion unless, all right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, I call this meeting adjourned at 7:47 p.m.